the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Woo-wee! And we are here for some Detroit Lions talk on Thursday, a couple days before the game, Lions and Packers, and it's going to be a fun one for sure. If the Lions get a win, and if that happens, it will be better than having Moral Victory Monday or Mock Draft Monday. It'd be Victory Monday. But for today's show, while we break everything down, we got a special guest here from Lions Talk Live. We got Dan the Man. What's going on, Dan?
MicroMike, how you doing today? Let's get into some Lions talk today.
Folks, I want you all to go to the pinned comment right now. He is a new Lions YouTuber. He's got 146 subscribers. I want to see 200 within 24 hours. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for sure. If you're watching it live, you can do it. If not, I will pin it to the stream when the stream is over to smash that subscribe button. Everybody, we got Lions Mania, Devin Lewis, Craig Ferguson. We got Davis, 9 Drinks, Alan Dana, Grandizer, Michael, Bryce. We got Tim Monroe. We have Alan Dana all in the building. Appreciate everybody in there. Before we get into the Lions and Packers, I just got to ask you a quick question there, Dan. Thoughts on the TJ Hutchinson trade?
You know, my take, it's a good move for Detroit. Campbell wants to go with more of a run-first type offense. Hutchinson, for all of his greatness, he's just not great in the run-blocking schemes. Pro Football Focus has him ranked, I think it's 42 or 43 out of 32 starting tight ends in that department. He's okay pass catching. I mean, I think we've all seen he's had a couple of games here and there where he's great, but he's just not great at what Campbell and the staff wants. So I think that's why they moved on.
Yeah, and I think when you're 1-6 and you can acquire draft picks, it's probably the best thing to do for your franchise. We're not going to go anywhere this year. We're not making the playoffs. We're not going to the Super Bowl. So acquire capital to build this defense that is historically bad. That's 32 pretty much across the board. I mean, it is really, really bad. So we got a second-round draft pick out of this bad boy. We got another pick, too, but, you know, we swapped some picks with the 4th round from this year and next year. So we could take that second-round, pick a player there, and or move up the draft if you'd like to, in which I kind of think that's what they're going to do, is they're going to end up having 3 first-round picks, move up in the draft with their 2 second-round picks, and maybe pick a player that could help this team out. That's my personal opinion, what I think they're going to do. I don't know. We'll see during the draft, but it helps the team out. Do you guys like the trade? Do you think it was a good trade? Put it in the comment section right now. Why for yes and for no. Tell me what you think. I said why. I know a lot of people was pretty frustrated about it right off rip, but I thought, hey, we're not going to win. So, big deal. You know, it's Brock Wright. We drafted James Mitchell. I'd like to see what he can do and let him go to a team where he's going to win. I got no hate for the guy. Do his thing. But we do have a game on Sunday, and there was an injury report that came out. We got Dan here. We got some players that are injured, Dan. If you look at this really quick, Josh Reynolds did not practice. That's not good. Penei Sewell was not practicing. Don't worry. It says personal issues. Matt Nelson, who cares? Afutu Melfon, who's always injured. Chase Lucas, he's been injured. And A.J. Parker. Any notable names besides Penei Sewell, which, again, it's a personal reason. I'm sure he's going to play. You are concerned about Josh Reynolds. Anyone else?
No, most of these guys have been on the list for some time now, even before the bye. So The fact that they're kind of nursing them along, trying to keep someone like Josh Reynolds as healthy as possible. He's been, doing what he can come game day, but the fact is he's not 100%. So they're going to take it easy with players like him because you look down the depth chart and there's nobody else.
For sure. Right now, there is definitely nobody else, and I believe the Packers defense is not that bad. It really isn't. If you look at the Packers defense, they are points per game. They are 16th in the NFL, allowing 21.6 yards allowed, 316. That's 8th in the NFL. Passing yards, they're second in the NFL at 174 yards, .81. That means you need to have your weapons out there because they can defend the pass. But the kink in the armor, Dan, as you already know, is that rush defense. 29th in the NFL, 141 yards. Do we need to run the football on Sunday or what?
I think you're going to see a little bit of running, then a little bit more, and then a whole lot more. As this game goes on, I believe we're going to hammer it right in between the tackles, going at him. I mean, Swift, if he gets continued progress in his return, he gets a few more reps than last week, then maybe we get a few things outside. But I'm with you. I want to see what this kid, James Mitchell, can do. We saw a little of him last week in the blocking game, and I'm telling you, Mike, I think this guy could be special. I think he can help open some holes, and I think we're going to see a lot of play action because our ground game is going to be sound this one.
You talked about opening up holes. We love to do that here on Lions Talk with MicroMike. We love to smash the hole and open up the holes and clog the hole. Put in the comment section right now, #smash the hole. We all love that over here in Detroit. We like to smash that hole. Jamal Williams he's doing pretty good this year. And look, we got DeAndre Swift who's injured, but do you think we need to use a lot of Williams in this game? The guy just seems like he's kind of getting better each game.
It seems like the coaching staff has developed more and more faith in him, whether that's just because he's staying healthy, whether that's production, that's up to the coaching staff to decide. But I thought it was telling last week that after Swift had over a month off, they kept with Williams the majority of the time. And let's be fair, he's had a great season. He's up there with Barry Sanders type numbers as far as amount of touchdowns scored throughout this portion of the season.
We got a super chat here. $4.99 from my G. Tim Monroe says, why do we keep abandoning the run in the second half of games? Man, that is a question I don't know. I don't know why we keep abandoning the run. I just think they need to run the football, Tim. Thank you so much for that super chat. Why are we abandoning the run, Dan? What in the hell is going on?
Here's my take on it. The majority of our team that's on the field, both sides of the ball, are younger players. And I think we need to keep in mind as fans that the majority of our coaching staff are younger coaches, less experienced. I think one of the reasons why we start off so well, say last week's game, is because the majority of the plays, the first 15 to 30 or so, are scripted out. And it's then we run into some problems when Ben Johnson or whatever, Aaron Glenn on defense have to come up with things based on how the game's progressing. I think they both need some more experience. And in regards to the run game, I think Ben Johnson just needs more time to develop as an OC.
Throw some love to Tim Monroe. Put Tim in the comment section because he's a real one. Dropping a $4.99 super chat. You got to put real one in there. You got to put Tim in there. He's a G. Also, smash that like button. Let's get to 25 likes. That's 10 away. We got 62 in the building. Look, it's really important that we run the football throughout the whole game. I've been talking about this week in, week out, Mike Tannenbaum was on Woodward Sports, so check that segment out. He was talking about how Dan Campbell, when he went into this Dolphins game, should have ran the football in all quarters. Yes, that it's okay to score quick, but you need to be able to understand that your defense is not good. So make the game quick as possible by running the football, controlling the clock on offense. We've been preaching this on my channel. I know my subscribers are. We have to do that in the second quarter. Second half adjustments been butt cheeks, Dan. What are you noticing in the second half that is different from the first half? Why aren't they making the adjustments that needs to be made for the Lions to win a football game?
A lot of that, like I talked about before, I think it's lack of experience. I mean, a lot of our coaches, and let's just use Ben Johnson's example. He doesn't know yet what he doesn't know. I talked about it on my video earlier today. Last year, Ben Johnson caught a lot of people off guard with gadget plays, trick plays, coming up with formations that they couldn't see the first 10 games of the season. We started this season off, I think everybody knows, at a historic pace offensively. But now there's game film on him. Now they know what he wants to do in certain tendencies. I mean, the Seahawks talked about that both offensively and defensively. They knew what we were going to do. So here's my comment about Ben Johnson. He's got to learn how to counterpunch. Somebody's going to drop a safety up into the box like New England did and went man-to-man across the board. What are you going to do to counter that? And we've seen that progressively throughout the games. Last week with Miami mostly went soft zone, and we destroyed it the first half. They went to more man-to-man the second half, and Ben Johnson, again, did not have an answer for it.
Folks, we are here with Dan from Lions Talk Live. He is a new Detroit Lions YouTuber. His content is absolutely amazing. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. He's at 146. Again, I want to see 200 within 24 hours. How did I find out about Dan? Well, he messaged me and says, I have someone that is going to be on the podcast. And I was thinking it was somebody in the YouTube community. He drops a video, and it's a friend of mine that I was in with the Army in. A guy that I served time with, and I could not believe it. This guy is a local guy. He's a Lions fan, and when he has friends that I served in the Army with, you damn well got to subscribe to the channel. And if I'm vouching for him, that means you need to subscribe as well. The content is absolutely fire and funny. He's got a bit on there, a Ric Flair. We know how we love Ric Flair. We love Ric Flair. He dressed up like Ric Flair, and he's talking Detroit Lions as Ric Flair. That's innovative. That is innovative. I absolutely love it. It is pinned in the comment section right now. Right now in the pinned comment, you can see his channel. And sometimes, folks, it's difficult to be heard when you're a smaller channel. YouTube generally goes to the bigger channels instead of smaller channels. So we support him, and I want you guys to support him as well. Lions offensive woes in the second half. 3 games now, Dan, we have not scored points in the second half. Now, we got to do that in this game. Everyone talks about the Lions defense, in which I agree is booty cheeks. But Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, they need to make adjustments to score some points in the second half. What do they got to do in this game against the Green Bay Packers to get some points on the board in the second half?
Well, sort of like we talked about with the prior ones, Detroit's got to find a way to legitimately beat man-to-man press coverage, whether it's at the start of the game or the secondary part of the game, the second half. I think they got to run a lot more, shallow crossers. They got to do something where they're getting defenders to have to negotiate in space, covering St. Brown or Josh Reynolds or Khalif Raymond. I really liked how they used Raymond last week, but again, his success was mostly in the first half against zone coverage, where in the second half that negated that. So Ben Johnson needs to come up with some abilities to get these guys open. Having Swift available in the second half would also help a lot because he's a matchup nightmare for any linebacker or safety that's going to guard him the vast majority of the time. And
just like you say, DeAndre Swift is a matchup nightmare, and he dictates what defenses do. When he's on offense, they switch their defense, and that's why we used him as a decoy kind of last week. I understand he got, 5 or 6 targets, but he primarily was a decoy. It does remind you of Calvin Johnson we had years ago. Even when he was injured, he'd be on the field just as a decoy. So hopefully we get some of those matchups, and then we could take advantage with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We could take advantage of whoever out there at wide receiver, Khalif Raymond, who's got that speed, and I do like. So we'll see how we utilize there offensively. Defensively, our defense is cheeks. It's butt cheeks. It's terrible. We fired AP. Okay, we fired a DB coach. What the hell can we do? These guys, the Green Bay Packers, do not have a good passing game right now. Their wide receivers are hurt. Rodgers is off. If we get blown up in this game and they put up a ton of points on us, what do we do going forward? And how do we avoid that?
Well, the good thing is it sounds like the Lions are leaning towards Jerry Jacobs starting this week. He sort of like he's one of the more physical players on our team. So I'm hoping him along with Jeff Okudah, they're very similar in that regards. I mean, these guys are physical. They got great upper body strength and great balance. They can get up and get after people at the line of scrimmage and hopefully not line up off sides like Amani did last week. For whatever reason, we haven't seen the same play out of our secondary that we saw last year. You know, I thought Aaron Glenn did a lot of good things last year. We took a defense that was terrible the year before and were fairly competent last year. But the problem is it hasn't happened this year. Now, the question is there just enough film out there where people have figured out what Glenn likes to do in this situation and that situation? I think there's some truth to that. But the other part is Amani Oruwariye, I mean, he just has not produced. If you remember the Minnesota game, they went after him time and time again. It seems like every team we run into, they don't even worry about Okudah. They're going after whoever's opposite of him. So if Jacobson can come in and provide some stability there, we might actually have a shot to slow down Green Bay considerably.
The collapse of Amani Oruwariye is something to behold. I don't know what the hell happened in between 1 year and the next. Do you have an idea? Oh, my favorite guy, Dixie Normus in the building. Greatest name of all time. Dr. Detroit, this is Dan from Lions Talk Live. He is a Lions YouTuber, new guy on the platform. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Dr. Detroit's a big guy. And I mean, I met him in real life. I'm not talking physical. I'm talking about he's very influential. Appreciate you, Dr. D, in the building. What the hell has happened to Amani Oruwariye?
You know, I think last year, and this is just my opinion, last year when he was successful, it was mostly in zone coverage. This year, Glenn has put him in every defensive back we have on islands and said, hey, we're going to play man-to-man across the board. You guys just got to own your guys while we're going to blitz the quarterback, get after them, send people either on the outside or up the middle. And unfortunately, Okudah has done fairly well with it. It's everybody opposite of him that is getting roasted time and time again. Last week against Miami, one of the first touchdowns of the game, A.J. Parker has to negotiate a screen, and he goes under and chases Waddle and leaves the end zone wide open. And just it's little things like that that are killing us. So I'm going to say this. We already fired one defensive back coach this week. If we get roasted again this week, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Glenn gets axed sooner versus later.
Really? So you think it's a potential that Aaron Glenn could be fired sooner rather than later? If we get lit up on Sunday, there's nothing to fix it at this point, because we're talking again about an offense that's not doing good. And of course, this is Karen Rodgers, but if you look at what they've been doing offensively, the pass is just been awful for them. It's the run game. It's Aaron Jones that's having any sort of offense over there, and that's going to be a problem for our defense. Joshua Pascal, Aidan Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, we got to be able to stop Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones runs on us and continues to do what he's doing to other teams, probably lose this game. What do you expect from the defensive line, the linebackers, to stop Aaron Jones?
I actually think we haven't done horrible against the run overall this year. I mean, we've had moments where we've gotten roasted, but throughout the season, especially since Pascal has come in, that's allowed Hutchinson to move more to his strengths, more of the weak end or opposite end, where he can go after the quarterbacks a little bit more. I think Pascal was absolutely a steal. They collapse along with McNeil in the middle. Rodriguez, one of his strengths is stopping the run or going up attacking. He is not great in coverage yet, and really we don't have a linebacker that I've seen this year that can guard anybody out there. So I think we'll be able to stop the run. It's just whether or not we can stop the play action.
100%. I think that if we stop the run, it'd be good. Play action does have me worried. Actually, any football in the air with this defense has me really worried for this game. Give me one bold prediction in this game that you have when you look at Lions versus Packers on Sunday.
I'm going to go with the defense. I'm going to say we pick Rodgers twice, and I think Hutchinson, if he might not get 2 or 3 sacks, but I think he's going to get home a lot, especially if the Packers stick with some of their offensive linemen out. I think we've got a real chance to do some damage to Rodgers, the run game, and maybe even rattle him and get a couple picks.
2 interception, that would be a Karen Rodgers is a guy who I have disdain for a long time, and if we ruin his Sunday, that would make my Sunday very, very happy. Put in the comment section right now, hashtag FGB. We know what the F stands for. GB is Green Bay. Put that in there because we have a lot of disdain for the Green Bay Packers. Hashtag FGB. Bold prediction here for me. I will say that James Mitchell gets a touchdown and 50 yards. I'll do that. I'll say that people are going to be surprised what Mitchell does. Our number, whatever, 1 or 2 tight end doesn't really matter. They're Brock Wright. He's going to be in there too. Don't know if he's going to play due to the concussion, but yeah. So I'm going to give you James Mitchell will give a touchdown plus 50 yards. John Ball says hashtag FGB. Paul Ginder FGB. Grandizer, love it. Alan Dana, Devin Davis, of course, Dixie Normus, Liam Gaddy. Bendito, we all love it. We all love it. What's really good that you've seen from Jeffrey Okudah? You know, obviously he's starting to be playing much better. What is part of this game you really like? I love what I'm seeing from his tackling. He has just become a tackling machine, attacking the wide receiver, whoever has the ball. He's not afraid. I love what I'm seeing from him.
No, ever since his rookie year, one thing that I've had is, I think he's going to be a pretty good corner. I think he could be a phenomenal safety, especially at the S1 or free safety. Think about against Dallas. Glenn changed a few things up. Dallas wasn't going after Okudah. They were trying to go after the opposite side. So anytime they did that and shifted, they dropped Okudah into the box and came up and played the run. And, he had, 15 tackles. I think Okudah's strengths, or he denies the inside because of his physical. So anybody wants to, slant over the middle of the field or whatever, he's able to stop that. The problem is when things are forced outside, he still has to develop there. His hand placement isn't great. He grabs a lot, and that's where he gets majority of his holdings is when somebody beats him up the sideline. But, he's definitely the best corner we have. Do I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer? I'm not going to put that on him, but this is going to be, I think, Sunday his 18th NFL game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 17. So he's basically played one season, and his progression over the course of his time here is phenomenal. I think he's going to be a very, very good safety, corner.
I see guys in the comment section like, can I just say F Green Bay? You can, but it doesn't show up in the comment section unless I click it. That is because of YouTube. It has nothing to do with me. But we got a $5 super chat from Travis the Goat Doily with a huge capital hashtag FGB. Hashtag FGB. We can't stand them Green Bay Packers. We've been on a losing streak. 5 losses in a row. What do you have? What is the prediction for this game? Who do you got winning? Why?
If I had to go with my head, I'm going to take Green Bay 33, Detroit 24. If I got to go with my heart, though, I'm going to take Detroit 28, Green Bay 21.
Put it in the comments section, your guys' score predictions. Right meow. I want to see your guys' score predictions. Who do you got winning? Craig Ferguson with a sick comment. Love it. Who do you got winning the game? I'm going to give you mine. I have the Lions 23, Packers 24, with the caveat, I would not be shocked if the Lions won this game. I would not be shocked. This is a close one for me. It's a 51-49. This is not something, it could come down to the last drive. Why is that? It's an NFC North rival, and the Green Bay Packers are a bad offensive team. They are bad, and the Lions can put up some points in the first half at least. We got 27-14 Lions, Packers 34-23, Lions 34-30. Let's go. Dr. D, 27-21 Green Bay, 35-13 Green Bay. Dixie Normus with the greatest name says Lions 31, Green Bay 21. Travis the Goat Doily 14-21 Leos. Green Bay 31, Lions 30. Packers 38-21. Patty Grimes 27-24 Green Bay. 31-20 Lions. Hopefully Lions win by 4. Lions Mania. Ugly game. Hey, if the Lions won an ugly game 2-0, Dan, I am perfectly happy. I just want to win. I don't care about stats. Stats. I don't care about stats, folks. I want wins. That's the only thing I care about. Wins. Get a damn win at some point. Tell the folks about your channel really quick. I want them to know who Dan is, the new Lions YouTuber for everybody to check out.
I go on there every day. I put on at least one video a day. If there's breaking news, I'll put on a second one. But I try to break down either the news of the day or on a day like today, Thursday, try to go in and look at the two matchups of the two teams, try to give you guys a different perspective. And then every once in a while, if it's a slow day, I might dress up like Ric Flair and come at you and just host the entire show in the man's voice.
Hey, man, hosting the show in the man's voice right there. Hey, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And that's what you got to do on Sunday. If you want to be better in Green Bay, you got to beat them. Folks, it is your time to shine. It is the time for you guys to have a voice and say anything you want to say with hashtag Lions, hashtag Dan the Man, hashtag MicroMike, whatever it is the mailbag segment. If you got questions, let us know. If you want to ask me, great. If you want to ask Dan, great. If you want to ask both of us, sounds like a plan, but put hashtag so I can see it. Let's get this thing going. Woo-wee! I love this time. It gives a chance for these people able to ask us questions. And we got our first one really quick, right off rip. Who do you like in the first round as a quarterback or a defensive end? Alan Dana, I will go quarterback. I like Bryce Young. That's who I'd want. Who would you like for a defensive end? Does it rhyme with Pill Banderson?
I would take Will Anderson. So if it's me, we got the number one pick. That's where I'm going.
He wants that edge out of Alabama to smash quarterbacks. Put him the opposite of Aidan Hutchinson. That would be scary. Hashtag FGB, when you going to have Nicole back on? I just got to remember to hit her up. So just remind me to. Honestly, that's it. She's allowed on here anytime. She is a G. So maybe I'll hit her up after this and see if she wants to get on next week. The reason she hasn't been on was she was dealing stuff with Florida during the hurricane time. Grandizer, hashtag Tim. Give us your best Lions roar. Every good Lions fan has a roar. I'll give you mine. Roar. Right now, that's what the Lions are doing. What is your best roar?
Mine?
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, he's doing Ric Flair right there. Hold up. I got that one. Just got to mix it. Hashtag FGB. Mike, how old is Corum? He's 210 years old. If you watch that video, I don't know how that 0 got there, but apparently I put 210 and I laughed my ass off that I left that 0 at the end there. I could have fixed it, but I said, nah, I'm going to leave it. Hashtag Lions, how do you feel that we still have to play the Jags and Panthers to see who ends up being worse, or do you think it's early to tell? I think the Panthers are better than we are right now. I know that sounds crazy, but they're playing hard. They've won ever since they fired Matt Rule, they won a game. They nearly won last week. What do you think the Panthers are better than we are, the Jags?
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers have a defense, and it's fairly legit. I wouldn't say it's top 10, but it's real close. It can get after you, and they can cover. So they need a quarterback bad.
What round do we pick Moody, the kicker from Michigan? Oh, we're taking him with the first pick in the draft. We're right. Look, any kicker, I'd look into the final picks that we got. We only got 2 6th-round picks this year. We don't have a 7th. So if we need to get a kicker, because right now the guy that we picked up, he's Zach Badgley, hasn't missed yet. But we'll see. I'll take a kicker in the 6th round. Hashtag Poop Show. How are you concerned that firing of AP and trading of Hawk will lose the locker room? Craig, yes, I am. I talked to Herman Moore last night about that. And he's concerned about potentially the players kind of, I'm just focusing on myself now. He's concerned about it when a guy, Mr. 84 says that my ears perk. And I'm very concerned about that. Are you concerned about that, Dan?
Very much so. The only thing I would say that we have going for us is Dan Campbell. While I don't think he's got a ton of experience, being an offensive coach or a defensive coach, He is more of somebody that can be a leader and galvanize people. So if he can do that this week, if they can get a win over Green Bay, that would go a long way towards curing the locker room. So,
Wins cure everything, man. Absolutely.
Right.
He's 100% correct. Winning cures everything. Dixie Normus, I'll throw this one at you, Dan. He says, Mike, or me, I guess I say, he says, should we replace Aaron Glenn with Brian Flores next year? He's now at the Steelers. I don't know if you remember the Miami thing, but he's a good defensive mind. I would take him over Aaron Glenn right now, but what do you say?
I'd say, hey, if you're worried about just the team, just about the team's future and getting somebody in there with experience, I'd sign him in a heartbeat.
100%. Justin Chase, big arms, Justin Chase. This dude's got some giant freaking biceps and a nice little triceps there. He's doing good. He says, hashtag Lions, what do you think of taking Will Anderson or Jalen Carter with our first pick next year and taking Hendon Hooker with the second round if he drops? I don't think Hendon Hooker's going to go in the second round. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, he'll go into the second round. I just don't see it. This dude's lighting it up. I understand he's a little bit older, but damn. What is it, a couple years ago, who's that quarterback that the Cleveland Browns picked up? The dude was 27 years old. I think they picked him up late in the first round, like 26, 27. Hendon Hooker is way better than this guy, and he was 2 years younger. You could see Green Bay taking a Hendon Hooker if, they end up winning, or a team that's later. I just don't see him making the second round. But if you wanted to go edge, I get it. I'm taking Bryce Young. That's what I want. That's my personal opinion. Hashtag FGB from Devin Davis. Do you think we're going to draft more injured players? Hell yes, we are. What's your thought on the Lions drafting all these injured players? Is that annoying, or are you not as concerned about it?
I'll look at it this way. I think it's a telling sign from Brad Holmes that he understood last year and this year we weren't going to compete. So he was able to try to get value, get somebody that should have been drafted in a higher round and a lower round. Like James Mitchell. If he doesn't have those injuries, he probably goes in the third. Instead, we get him much later in that. And I think he could be really something special. Same with Pascal. If he doesn't have those injuries, he's probably late first round. So next year, though, I would say this for Brad Holmes. This is a results-based business. If Campbell and he don't start getting wins in year 3, one of them is going to be gone, if not two of them. 100%.
You got to win. I'm not doing this. Yeah, man. We got one win, man. Look, you got to win. I love how he talks, but you got to win. $5 super from Travis the Goat Doily. Who are awesome players you want us to spend money on this off season? Well, Roquan Smith was traded to the Baltimore Ravens. He's still a free agent. If he makes the free agent market, they don't re-sign him, I'm jumping on him immediately. We need a linebacker and an enforcer on that defense. He's not old. He's 25. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm looking at corners, too. I'd like to get a veteran corner in there. I still want to draft a young corner, but I want to get a veteran as well. I think it takes a little bit of time, some of these guys to develop. I'm not wasting no more time. I want a guy back there. How about you? Is there a certain player you want in free agency, Dan?
Well, it's hard for me to say without knowing who's going to get franchised or whatever, but I'm with you. I would like our free agency to mostly be spent on the secondary. Draft a couple younger guys to develop. Chase Lucas, I think, can develop given time, but he's a ways away from that. Then you've got to get somebody to own the middle of the field, a middle linebacker or somebody like that who can cover, which right now we don't have a linebacker that can cover. Then maybe spend the draft on, just filling in some depth, maybe get another receiver that can get away in man coverage. We could be vastly different a year from now.
If I miss your question, just copy, repaste it. I know I've already missed a couple already. I do apologize. It's coming in quick. I'm not trying to ignore it. It is what happens when there's a lot of people in there ask questions. Just copy, paste, and I'll get to it. Lions Mania, hashtag Lions. Do we cut Goff or restructure him? I don't think we restructure him. Interesting. I didn't think we would cut him, but hearing what Dave Burkett keeps tweeting out there, it seems possible now, because I do think Dave Burkett knows a lot, and from what I'm hearing from other beat writers that are in the know, it's a possibility. What do you think?
I mean, he started off the year I think the first 3 or 4 games, everybody said, man, maybe we got something here. But then the 2 games after that, New England and Dallas, boy, he looked pretty bad. So if he doesn't really salvage the rest of the season, I think he's out of here, first ship out of town.
It's all on Goff. In all honesty, if he wants to stay here, he's got to produce. And, we got to be able to do something in the second half. Look, I have nothing against Goff, but we need to we need to have this team win football games. And we got to score in the second half. 3 straight games and nothing. And then all the turnovers. Sheesh, you can't do that. Can't do that, man. Turnovers is killer. The top 3 quarterbacks of turnovers right now, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. I don't know who the other one is, but those are the top 3. You can't have that.
Curse of Rodney P.
It's the curse. God dang curse, man. Hashtag FGB. Do you guys think we got screwed in the Hawk trade? No, Paul Ginder. I know a lot of people loved TJ Hutchinson. But this is the way I put it. We're 1-6. With Hutchinson here this year, do you think we're going to make the playoffs? Nope. We're 1-6. There you go. He's not going to resign here in Detroit. Per Detroit Lions podcast, Chris and Jeff Risdon, he didn't want to be here anymore. And they're in the know. He said he did not want to be here anymore. He wasn't going to resign here. So get something for him. What's your thoughts on the trade?
I think you're 100% right. I mean, get something for him because last year of his contract, are you going to pay him top 3, top 4 tight end money? Sure, you can franchise him, but if he doesn't want to be here, and if he's not great at run blocking, which appears to be number 1 priority from Motor City Dan, then you've got to go in a different direction. I think that's also something they were aware of last year in the draft and why they drafted James Mitchell.
Dr. Detroit says this to you. Dan, do you understand and agree Swift is a China doll and we need to draft another running back also?
Yeah, I mean, Swift's only real issue, I think anybody would say, is that he just can't stay on the field. And we all have heard the phrase, availability is your best ability. And unfortunately, in the few years he's been here, he's more off the field than he is on the field.
We are here with my friend, who I want everyone to subscribe to, Dan from Lions Talk Live. He's now at 154 subscribers. We are 46 away to getting this man to 200. If you like Lions content, then you need to subscribe to his channel. That's pinned in the comments section. The word subscribe. Also, if it's after the fact, you're listed this after it, I will pin it on the stream itself because you won't be able to see it. It's in the comment section at that point. $5 super from the Travis the Goat Doily. Would you sign Jimmy G? No. Here's the thing. I actually concur with what Sheila said. Now, I'm not all the cool the patience thing, but she said it's a tear down. And a tear down, I'm not trying to get a veteran quarterback. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go draft my quarterback. I'm going to get me a young guy. That's how we get it done. I'm going to have the young guy in there. Will I have a bridge guy potentially like Alex Smith did with Patrick Mahomes or a Jared Goff if he stays here? I'm perfectly fine with that. But I'm not going to sign a dude to a long-term deal. I want to get me a young guy. That's my personal belief. What's up? What do you think?
I mean, it's going to come down to free agency because I'll throw this at you. If they're going to go after, and they plan, if we have the number 1 pick overall to go after quarterback, then that's going to be determined what they're going to do in free agency. But in free agency, if we go and pull in somebody, I'm not going to throw any speculations, but I think there's a couple of quarterbacks the Lions could target that are younger, but they're going to have to get paid. And maybe that's also another indication why we're clearing so much cap space.
Yeah, and that money, too. A lot of money. Eddie Brinky says, what up, MicroMike? Love the videos. I've been a Lions fan since I came out of my mother's womb. Just want to say hi. Appreciate your videos because I'm a Lions till I stop breathing. Jay, appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you, Eddie. You're a real one. Awesome. And that's why I like doing this. I know I don't get to all these comments when I make a video. I get a ton of comments. It's really difficult to go through each one, so I like to go live and hear from you guys live, talk to you live, so I really appreciate it. 9 drinks, hashtag smash the hoe. It's not even hoe, it's hoe. What do you think about number 44, Talio? Oh, I like him. The pick 6, sacks, tip, interception, a fumble recovery, impressed against Penn State. I liked him so much, I almost had him as the pick for the Lions at in the first pick in the second round of my mock draft. Dude's a stud. He's changing heads. We need that enforcer. My God. Imagine if you got a Roquan Smith, him, and Malcolm Rodriguez. Yeah, I think the defense will look a little bit better. Enforcer. But the Vikings got Hawk and 2 force picks, and we got 2 picks. Yeah, one's a conditional. So if they make the play, or if they win a playoff game, it turns into a 5th round. I don't care. We got 2 seconds, 2 firsts, and we got a 3rd this year. I'm fine with that. What do you think? Do you think the trade was fair, Dan? I think it's fair.
I do. I think, we moved up. We got rid of a guy who's not going to resign with us, so we got something versus nothing, and we got a lot more ammunition if we want to move back up into the 1st round and potentially get a 3rd first-round pick this spring.
Lions Mania, sign Andy Dalton to a 1-year deal. Let C.J. Stroud sit behind him. That's something they could do. I mean, if they wanted to go the C.J. Stroud route, or if they wanted to get the red BB gun, I don't know if that's what they're going to do. But, I mean, that's an option, something like that. I mean, for sure. C.J. Stroud, he's got that body type. I'd like him. He seems like a statue in the pocket a little bit. Still got more games to go this year to evaluate. I have Bryce Young a little bit ahead of him. That's who I like. But you could see it. Combat Sack with the sick name. He's been on here since I've been on here. Lions, where do you think we'll end up picking in the draft? Go ahead.
You? All right.
Go ahead.
I actually think we're going to win a few more games. I could see us getting to 5, maybe 6. And something's got to come together at this point in the year for that to happen. But if we do, then we're probably picking around 7 or 8.
I have us maybe winning 2 more games. I think the max's ceiling is the ceiling's 4, and the basement is not winning another game. I think they do win another game. It's any given Sunday. At some point, they'll probably win another one. Maybe it happens on Sunday. In all honesty, if you look at the schedule, this may be the easiest game the rest of the way. Because if you look at Chicago, they got a mobile quarterback. Our defense is terrible against mobile quarterbacks. It is proven to be that. The Panthers have gotten a little bit better. Mobile quarterback, it's at Carolina. Jacksonville Jaguars are better, even though they got a 2-win season. Jets, tough. Giants, tough. Vikings come to Detroit with T.J. Hutchinson, so it's going to be tough. I say we're the first pick in the draft. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We are the first pick. Texans, though, they are terrible. They could definitely steal that away from us. The Carolina Panthers game, the Lions game, could have a lot of ramifications in that bad boy. That could be for the first pick, too. So that's up there as well. For the Rams, hey, I hope they lose every game. I want another draft pick, man. Right now we're sitting at 14. Let's get a top 10 pick. I don't know. I hope they suck. I hope they fall off a cliff. Riley Elder, Lions, would you draft a safety? If so, what round? I'm liking what I'm seeing from Kirby Joseph. I loved that pick this last draft. Everyone made fun of me. I said it was my favorite pick for the position. Was Kirby Joseph. He's starting to show out. He's becoming that punch in the mouth type of guy. I think once he gets the defense, Dan, once he understands it, he'll become more reactive, and he'll start to get those turnovers like we've seen in college. Tracy Walker will be back. So if we're going to go safety, I may wait a little bit. What do you think, Dan?
I wouldn't be in a hurry to draft one. I think we've got too many other areas of needs. So I'm with you. Kirby Joseph, I've loved what I've seen out of him. He's just got to get a little bit more, I guess, where he thinks less and just reacts, quicker, and that will come with the experience. Tracy Walker, he's going to heal up. He's young. He'll be fine. And then, let's go target some other areas in that secondary or maybe the linebackers.
Looking at Lions Talk Live's channel right now, he's at 158 subscribers. We're getting close to 200. I think it could happen. Let's get to 160. 2 more people need to subscribe to his channel. It's the pinned comment right now. Dark Twig, I love you, man. I got to say, I love you, man, but your avatar gives me creeps. I love you, man, but that is a creepy-ass avatar. He says, hashtag, draft Bryce Young is smaller than Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. He's not smaller in Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is a midget out there. It doesn't concern me because he's making plays for Alabama. Making plays is all I care about. He's more of the Russell Wilson size. Kyler Murray's small. He's the shortest guy. When you look at, apparently, the profile of Bryce Young, he's 6 foot tall. So we'll see at the NFL Combine when they really get in there. I'm going to try to go to the NFL Combine this year for you guys so we can get up close and personal with some of these prospects. But we'll see. But I think he's 6 foot is legit. Tim Monroe, go Lions. What players you think are cut candidates this season? Cut candidates. We'll both do this, Dan. Who's some players you think we cut after this season?
Vaitai. I think he's probably gone. He's probably where I would start there. Goff, I mean, if he doesn't have a good final 10 games in Detroit, I don't think they'll keep him around.
Okay, you got Vaitai. I say Will Harris gets cut. Finally,
Yep.
Harris is gone. How about Amani Oruwariye? He's been a disaster this season. We're not re-signing him.
Right.
Go let this guy walk. Jared Goff, do they cut him after the June 1st to save the cap of $20 million?
I think you have to. I mean, unless he lights it up the last 10 games or he puts you in a position you have to keep him, then he's got to go, especially if you're going to take a quarterback number one. I mean, you're not keeping Goff around at whatever it is, $30 million. I just think they've got too many other options they can get cheaper and basically get the same result out of. If you're going to draft, whoever, Hall, Young, whoever you're going to take quarterback, if you go that route, you can get an Andy Dalton-like person to come in and just take over the first month or half of the season before you turn it over to the younger guy.
Jonathan Word says, I'm 44-year-old and I'm from California and been a diehard Lions fan for life. Appreciate you, man, over there all the way from CA, California, West Coast. Love the West Coast. I'm from Oregon. Love it. Love it, man. It's hard to be a Lions fan over there, for sure. Hendon Hooker, 6'4", Levis, 6'3", Stroud, 6'3". Yes, that is their size. Make sure you subscribe to Raw Detroit. That's my buddy, my pal, my friend. He's the king of prospects. That's what he does. And if you want to know about college players, you go to him because he's right, I'd say 99% of the time. Him, I say my guy there, Broshmo, my pal there, Broshmo, and Tom Downey. Those guys, they know their prospects, and he is one of them as well. The 2023 draft class is better. Quinn Ewers and Caleb Williams are both going to be franchise quarterbacks. Here's the thing, and this is what I say every time, is I think this is the year to get a quarterback first off, but you never know what a quarterback's going to be a franchise quarterback past the season because everybody thought that Rattler was going to be this great quarterback, and he went back to school last year, Dan, and he's not going to do crap this year. We've seen it where quarterbacks come out of nowhere. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, supposed to be a 5th-round pick, first pick in the draft, so I like to wait all the way. We'll see, but if you got a guy, you go get him. That's just my personal preference there, and that's what I think. Big Arms, Justin Chase says, do we have the ability to trade Goff in the offseason, or does he have a no-trade clause? He doesn't have a no-trade clause, but I don't think anybody's going to trade for him.
No. Not unless he blows up like I said, the last portion of the season, or if he can mimic what he did the first 4 games, then maybe somebody who's desperate that he just can't draft or can't sign someone in free agency, then maybe somebody gives us, I don't know, a 6th or 7th round pick for him.
We got 190 in the building. Let's get to 75 likes. That's 25 away since we're at 50 right now. Chassport's always on my ass about getting those likes up, so smash that like button. It's free to do so, and it helps the channel out. Devin Davis, hashtag FGB. If we do draft Bryce Young, does he start right away or sit behind Goff for a season? It could be either way. I always believe you play the best player available. If he's not ready, then don't play him. If he's ready, play him. Just like Stafford. I'm Unfortunately, he got injured his rookie season. But that's my thought. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But if they had both Goff on this roster and him on this roster, and Goff is better and he's his sit, I'm perfectly fine with it. What's your thoughts on drafting a quarterback and sitting behind and learning?
I think it's good for them, especially the first month or two of the season when you got so many things happening, either learning on the field, plus adjustments in their personal life to where they're living, handling the money and everything. When Stafford came in, we had Dante Culpepper, kind of groomed him, walked him through things for a little bit. Then Stafford eventually took over. And if we draft someone this year, I hope that's the route we go.
Lions already really like Will Levis. He seems like a Dan Campbell type of guy. Well, I'm concerned about him a little bit because he threw those 3 interceptions last game. We'll see. I think he's talented. He is. But if you have an option to get any quarterback in the draft, you better damn well get it right because you don't want to get a Mark Sanchez when you have a Matthew Stafford there. You don't want to screw that up. It's one of those positions you can't. Shout out to all the vets out there. Thanks for your service. Should we draft 2 quarterbacks like the Redskins did? It worked pretty good for them. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the 2 quarterback thing. I mean, you could do that, I guess, in the late round for a backup, but we're going to probably have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. And there's no way you're going to have 2 rookies, one being a backup and one being starting. I think it'd be a veteran backup. So I don't want to throw a guy on the practice squad to get poached. What do you think about that? I mean, it did work. Kirk Cousins coming in there for RG3.
It did. I guess it would come down to whoever you're going to take. If you're going to take a quarterback in the first round or whatever round they take one in, if you're going to take one in, say, the 6th or 7th or sign a undrafted free agent, I'd be fine with that. But you better be sure that rookie you took early is ready to go from day one. And I think, there's very few of them that are.
What is your Super Bowl prediction? Devin Davis has to ask you that.
If I had to go right now, I'll take Philadelphia versus Kansas City.
Ooh, that's good. That would be a high scoring game, that's for sure. Back and forth.
Right.
What is the earliest you draft a running back if you draft a running back in 2023? Personally, I think we do need to address some defense first in the first couple of rounds. But if there is a stud in the late 2nd or 3rd round, I would do that because of DeAndre Swift. If a Blake Corum is sitting there, who I do like, and I'm not a Michigan fan, that would be nice. If there's somebody else, I think we do need to get a running back. What do you think about the running back situation here in Detroit, Dan?
Me personally, if I'm the GM, 3rd round, 4th round, I'm taking somebody. Yeah. 1st and 2nd round, I want to spend on more positions. I think that I need value out of.
Yeah, 100%. The first round, it's difficult because I think we need to get some defense there, and I think we need to get a quarterback. I love what some of these running backs are doing, but at the same time, we got some holes on defense. We do got to fix those, and there's some gaping holes. I mean, when you're talking 32 across the board, that means they suck ass. Dr. Detroit, #Mike Dan, what about dropping Goff, Vitae, Amani Harris, and pick up Lamar Jackson and Will Anderson, etc.? Well, to get Lamar Jackson, you're probably going to have to give up 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks because they'll franchise tag him at Baltimore. I just don't think that's what they're going to do. If you're sitting, because you're going to be sitting you're going to have a high draft pick. At least one of them is going to be really, really high.
Right.
What do you think about the Lamar Jackson? If he's a free agent, hey, I'm all for chase. If they want to be a dumb A, I'll chase him. But you'd have to trade for him, Dan.
If somebody's a free agent, then fine. Maybe we can entertain that idea and then spend our picks on other spots. But I just don't see Baltimore letting him go. And then the other part is, if we're the number 1 team in the draft, what's the incentive for Lamar Jackson to come here other than a paycheck?
Yeah. It's a lot of capital for. I love Lamar Jackson. Free agent, if he was to be a free agent in some crazy scenario, that's not going to play out. I'm running after him. But other than that, you're going to have to trade for him. #Booty Cheeks. Love it. Do you or Dan submit a DC impressions video to Woodward Sports? If not, you should. I did not do that. I wanted to give opportunities for other people to do their Dan Campbell. You know, me and Adam are pretty good friends. I want to give if I was to do it, if I was to win it, I was going to give it to one of you guys out there. But as a content creator, I was letting the subscribers kind of do their own thing. Did you do that? Did you ever do that submission there?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I was like, yeah, I'll let other people do it because I get on there once a week with those guys, and so other people to get some recognition. I just figure that's the best way to do it there. But yeah, man, we're gonna look, man. 4th and 25. We're gonna go for it on 4th and 25. We're gonna do it, man. Hashtag Dan's pick Dan. What quarterback would you pick if the Lions had the number 1 pick? Right now, Bryce Young. I want to connect him back with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. What about you? Right now, you have a pick, a quarterback in the draft. Who you taking?
Will Levis.
Will Levis. Oh, so you're the okay. What do you like about his game?
You know, I think he reads defenses pretty well. I mean, I get he had the 3 picks and such, but I mean, Alec, man, that's going to happen with anybody, whether you're Peyton Manning or whoever. So I'm going to say this: I like how he moves around. I like his composure. I like his leadership. I mean, I think he's got a lot of intangibles that are hard to teach. I think as far as mechanics, you know, his physical parts, those are already there. He just needs more coaching, more experience. I think he's going to be something.
That is Dan from Lions Talk Live, who is now at 163 subscribers. We're trying to get him to 200 subscribers now within 23 hours and 3 minutes. That is the goal for today. That is 37 subscribers away. So if you're watching this right now, go to the pinned comment. And if you're not watching it right now and you're watching it after the fact, go to the pinned comment in video form and you'll see it and subscribe to his channel. Let's get to 75 likes, though. And that's 9 away. I think we can get to 75 likes. Smash that like button. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. What is the overall record when the season is done for the Detroit Lions? Win-loss record.
I think we'll end up with 6 wins. So, I mean, could it be 5? Could it be 7? Sure. But I do think just because some teams are going to check out, you know, probably in the next few weeks, they're going to start thinking about other things in the offseason. And I think that's where Dan Campbell, his one strength, because it's not offensive coordinator, it's not defensive coordinator, it's motivator. I think he's going to be able to catch some teams.
We've been on for about an hour, and I'm going to give you some last words. So what do you got to say to the folks? Again, talk to them about your channel, where they can find you, and everything, man. Go ahead.
So just on YouTube, Lions Talk Live, you can go in there. I put out videos every day other than Saturday. I do take one day off a week. If there's breaking news, I come in and put that, a second video in there regarding that. Talk about the Lions throughout the season. Every once in a while, if it's a slower day, yeah, you're going to see Ric Flair appear and, try to talk to you guys for 8 to 10 minutes.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Love the channel. Again, make sure you guys subscribe. Trying to get this guy to 200. I'm going to go ahead and listen to Woodward Heavyweights, my friends over there, Speakeasy and Spencer Raxter. I appreciate everybody hanging out. If you guys go over there, tell them that Mike sent you. With that said, I'll see you on Sunday. Live watch party, Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers. OnePride, baby.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah.